Considering what's happening in the world right now and in our own country, you've got to stay calm and collected. Yet many people experience worries and anxiety possibly more than ever before in their lifetime. My amazing guest today, Karen Romine, will share a rather unusual way to release worries and anxiety by talking to your loved ones in spirit, which can help you find forgiveness for yourself and others and focus on making the best decisions for yourself. Grow your wealth, live on your terms. Hello, 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 powerful people. Welcome to the More Money with Milan, a show that is a kind of operating manual for creating your best rich life. I'm Milan Davis, the host of the show and holistic financial independence mentor. I help people who struggle with money worries and are sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck to have more money with less risk and less stress. Sadly, a lot of people these days, especially women, live paycheck to paycheck and even feel that their money situation is out of control. Look, I was the least likely person to become financially independent, was divorced, financially broke, and deeply depressed. Yet I managed to turn my life around. So I know that you can fix your money problems so that you control your money instead of your money controlling you. That's my zone of expertise. If you are eager to fix the problems that cause your money problems, you can receive my How to Control Your Money So Money Will Not Control You guide for free today. Here's the link to the guide, daretochange.live.com/HTCM. So click on this link and you can download this link for free today. All right. Okay, so now let's talk about unusual way to release worries and anxiety. Welcome, Karen.
Thanks for having me.
So good to see you. I know Karen because I had personal experience with her. She did some reading, helped me connect with my mom and uncover some questions that I always wanted to have answer for and didn't have a chance to. So, but let me introduce Karen is so amazing, and we're gonna ask her a few questions today. But let me introduce her so you will get a little bit of snapshot of her background. Karen used to work for Fortune 500 companies and startups until she found her way to working with the executives of those companies. And now, as a certified psychic medium, Karen helps executives and common folks like you and me connect with their loved ones in spirit, which often helps them release worries and anxiety, improve their relationships with families and their careers. Specifically, Karen facilitates that conversations with spirits to give you an opportunity to ask that one question you never got to ask, or to hear that one thing you never got to hear, so that you can calm your anxiety and bring healing to your physical, mental, and emotional bodies. Also, Karen investigate where your life, she can investigate where your life stands right now and help you get unstuck and thrive. So, Karen, I am so honored to have you today. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for that lovely introduction.
My pleasure. So, I have so many questions, but I really want to start with what is your story? How did you get to do what you do now from working for corporates, right? Working with startups, and now becoming certified psychic and doing reading for people, help them connect with their loved ones in spirit. How did it happen?
It was kind of a crazy trip that I took through life, like many of us do. I knew when I was quite young that I could hear spirit, or that I had sensations that there was something bigger out there that I was able to communicate with. But it wasn't normal and it wasn't really accepted. So I went to college and got focused on corporate America and worked my way up. to managing and operating some pretty big companies. And while I was there, what I was learning and observing was that a lot of us were operating out of a space of anger. We were angry with the circumstances in the company. We were angry with our family when we came in. We were angry we didn't get our parking spot. So it was just an observance that I was always holding, that we all lived in this space of anxiety and anger. So fast forward, when my dad passed, I had an experience where I was able to communicate with him during that time. And what I realized is that this grief process also holds a lot of anger, and that I was able to walk through it in a different way. And if I was able to do that for myself, that I wanted to be able to do that for others, just to shift our overall day when we get up. So I decided I take it very seriously. I treat it just like someone would in corporate America. I got my education, I got my certifications. I'm constantly learning, growing, making sure that what I'm doing is the best that I can possibly do.
Karen, it's very interesting that you noticed that you had this talent early on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet, because at that time it was not acceptable, you kind of fell into this traditional way of building your career. And yet, at some point when things started shifting, you said, you know what, this is important, and I can help people change the way they experience life and be much less angry and much happier and much more joyful. And so many people really have the talents, but just like you shared, fall into this traditional way of building careers. So kudos to you for coming back and stepping back and into your power, right? And doing what you feel that you're good at and that you maybe probably were meant to do in this lifetime, right?
Absolutely.
So let me ask you, like, what is it exactly that you do? Like, if you could just very briefly give us a little bit of imagery, like what exactly do you do?
Okay, so I do sort of two sides of things. I'm a psychic medium, and the difference between that is mediumship is when we bring in your loved ones that are on the other side and we have a conversation with them. So I'm able to connect by raising my energy along with your energy, and spirit lowers their energy, and we're able to bring messages through. Sometimes it's apologies, sometimes it's laughter and memories. Sometimes I see them, sometimes I just hear them. They come through all of my senses. The other side of that is a psychic reading. So that's for questions about the here and now. That might be, should I take this job or this job? Is this Mr. Right? Am I going to have what financially is going to serve me? And then a whole nother section of what I do, which this is my give back in a lot of ways, is I help to find missing people, which is really a silent epidemic in the States. So I work to connect to find those people, and I work with law enforcement in that space. So in general, predominantly what I do is help people to connect to their inner self and to help them to get those answers that they're looking for.
So you believe that the answers that we all have some kind of questions, we all have different questions. The answers are within us, right? So you're not locating to the creator of all that is, or to the high intelligence to find these answers. You connect to the person energy within, right, to answer the questions that people have.
A psychic reading, absolutely. Your intuition, that gut feeling that you have, that, you say to me, should I turn right or turn left? You know that in your gut. So psychically, yes, I'm connecting into your energy, and that's where we're going for those answers. You already know this stuff. It's just like a confirmation of it. When we connect with your spirits, sometimes that's stuff that you already know. Oftentimes they'll come in and say, oh, tell her thanks for wearing my ring, or something to give some connection to you. But in other ways, oftentimes in the way that it helps for people to release their anger is they hear apologies from the other side. I just did a reading for a lady that's running a company, and afterwards she wrote me back and she just said, thanks for resolving and bringing closure to a 40-year tumultuous relationship. So it's just hearing the apology, hearing the explanation from the other person, what they realize now, how they see it now that they're on the other side. So that is oftentimes something that they're looking for and seeking, like you said at the beginning, that one thing that they never got to hear, or the opportunity to say something they never did.
I must say, I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by what you do, and I don't know if I mentioned, I actually had a reading with Karen, and it was with my mom, who passed last year suddenly, and I had a lot of unanswered questions, and it was very sweet to. I felt so much better. The anxiety subsided, and it was just knowing that she's okay, that she is in a good hands now, wherever she is. And it was and just this awareness that the energy of your loved ones doesn't just disappear, that they exist in a different form, in a spirit form, right? So that was very, very reassuring for me and very calming, and it was a very amazing experience. So Karen, really, I never met someone like you, honestly, before. So I was just, oh my God, it's possible. So it's pretty amazing that you got this gift, and that now you actually finally using it and helping people in so many ways. So I'm just curious, really briefly, if you could tell us what are the top 3 lessons that you've learned in your current line of work, right? And what you do.
The top 3, let's see. So I would say, one, that I'm absolutely now a confident believer, even though I'm a huge skeptic, that there is life on the other side and that they're with us in that space. I would also say that I've learned that sometimes you just need to ask yourself, does it really matter? Like, does it really matter? Because oftentimes there's this conversation that people want to resolve with somebody on the other side, and they're all concerned and worried. It's impacting their life here on earth. And they talk to spirit, and spirit says, well, it doesn't really matter. It just doesn't matter. And so that's been a huge lesson for me, is just pausing and asking myself, does that really matter? And I think that the biggest lesson that I've learned is this lesson about forgiveness. We all come in every day, no matter whether we're retired or we're going into run a huge corporation, with the stress and the anxiety and the worries of everything around us. We're in a society now with news first, with up and down economy, everything. So we come into that space. But when you learn to forgive yourself, and you learn that there's forgiveness on the other side, because I've never heard someone on the other side say, well, I'm still holding that grudge. They aren't. They don't. It's released. It does. Again, it sort of ties into it doesn't matter. You release all that heavy hanging energy around you, and it frees you up to be able to explore things in your daily life from a whole new perspective, and to make the best decisions for you. So I'd say those are probably the 3 biggest things that I've learned since I've been doing this.
Thank you so much for sharing this. It's so beautiful. I'm a big believer that gratitude and forgiveness are 2 most important aspects of our attitude that allow us to live happier and more joyful life, and actually see the world through different lens, right? So you cannot be angry and grateful, and you cannot be hateful and forgiving. So
Yes.
just opposite, very opposite emotions, and you can choose which
Yes.
one you want to experience, right?
The best. You can choose. You have a choice every day.
Yeah, so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this and for doing the, I would say, God's work. I really feel that way, that you have this amazing talent and you're using it, and so many people can now benefit from you being having this gift. So I know that you have a promotional event coming up this month. So could you please tell us briefly about your event?
I would love to offer anybody who's all of your listeners, everybody, the opportunity to come join me. It can be a little intimidating. It can be a little bit different. People aren't sure what's a reading like. What's Karen like? Is she even legitimate? So what I'd like to do is give this link. Thank you for putting that up on the screen. It's on March 14th, which is next week on Tuesday, and it's at 6:30 Central, which is 7:30 Eastern. And it's an opportunity for you to come and see. You can ask questions. You can see how I connect. You can see how I deliver a message. You have an opportunity for a reading. It just gives you an idea for what can happen in that brief moment with that brief snippet of a reading, and see what happens. What is mediumship and what is a reading like?
And I thank you so much for doing this. And it's a great opportunity to experience your work and you, right? I actually joined one of these events and it was amazing experience. So I invite all of our viewers to take advantage of this opportunity and join Karen on March 14th for this event. It's free and it's pretty amazing, right? I know I keep using this word amazing because what Karen does is really amazing. So thank you so much, Karen, for your time today. Thank you for what you do. I really appreciate everything that you do. You are amazing, and this would be one more time that I will use this word because that's the word that I feel when I think about you. And thank you so much. And I want to invite all our viewers to join me next week for another episode of More Money with Milan show. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your attention. Have a beautiful day and beautiful week. Bye now. To your health, wealth, and freedom.